I met my ex-girlfriend Natasha and her sister Lara at Christmas party at a friend's house. I was 24 years old and Natasha was 23 years old. The first time I saw her, she was very jolly and I liked her a lot. I started talking to her and we exchanged numbers. The relationship developed very quickly. We were in a relationship for about a year and a half. There was no problem, but I didn't know that she was a bitch. She was just with me for passing her time. I just felt like I loved her. It is obvious that I get her since she is always in a position to demand anything from me. But one day, she left me without telling me anything about it. In my opinion, it was a very surprising act on her part. I called her in. She said that she no longer wanted to meet with me because she was fed up with me. The way she responded to me left me feeling very hurt. A few days later, her sister Lara came to meet me. She revealed something to me that was not just surprising, but also left me in a state of shock. At first, she told me that Natasha dumped me because she started dating a wealthy guy. She left the house with him and fled to Las Vegas. She also told me that the man she cheated on had made her addicted to heroin. I was angry with Natasha, but I could not do anything since she wasn't present. It was then that she revealed something to me that I was not aware of. Laura told me that she liked me from the very first day and wanted to be with me, but Natasha made her keep her distance from me. However, when Natasha left me, Lara decided to tell me about her feelings. When she told me about this, I was not in a positive mood. I just asked her to leave right now. I will call her back soon. I need some time to relax right now. Afterwards, she left me, and before leaving, she hugged me and said that I would always be available whenever you need me. When she hugged me, I felt the love from her heart. The truth is that I cannot remember a single time when I felt the same way towards Natasha as I do now. The only thing I was happy about was her presence and nothing else. Nonetheless, I found it a very big shock to me that Natasha was just playing with my feelings. She was also treating me like I was just a credit card for her. After being upset for a while, I called one of my best friends and told him everything that had happened. I felt comfortable with him and he stayed with me the whole time. The entire night was spent drinking. It was him who gave me the motivation to move on, and I was pleasantly surprised when it worked. After a few days, Lara called me and asked me to meet with her. The location of the meeting was decided by both of us, and we met there. Moreover, she bought me sandwiches that she made specifically for me and said that she made them especially for me. The sandwiches that she gave me were delicious and I enjoyed eating them a lot. My feelings toward her were just very strong. While I was unable to understand how she was aware of my likes and dislikes, since it seemed to be very meaningful to her, I couldn't comprehend how she could know my personality. That's why she knows so much about me. Natasha does not know what my likes and dislikes are at all. But I was not ready to be in a relationship again, even though I was feeling very lovely towards her. Therefore, I told her that I needed some time at the moment. There was no problem with that for her. Despite this, I was always in contact with her and we talked frequently throughout the day. I enjoyed chatting with her after that because she was such a sweet girl and I began meeting her. As I was chatting with her, I realized that this is what true love is all about. Regardless of what kind of relationship I had with Natasha, it was not love. That was just an attraction towards her, but that doesn't mean I loved her. However, I was healing with the passage of time, or more precisely, Lara was healing me through her care and love for me. One time I decided to make her watch a romantic movie with me. In the end, we walked home together after the movie and I got out of control and kissed her on the cheek. It would be more accurate to say that I fell in love with Lara. It is hard for me to tell how much of this was just a natural reaction. Thereafter, I confessed to her what I really felt about her. We started dating that day and have been together ever since. There is no doubt that I have found the love of my life. It looks like the girl always took care of me, always made me happy and always understood me. This is in a way that looked like she was perfect girl on the planet. Everything was going well at that time. It was after about 2 months that Lara decided to move into my house. There was a desire on both of our parts to spend a lot more time together. For me, that was also one of the best experiences of my life. There was a growing sense of involvement and a growing relationship between us. One day, Lara told me that Natasha contacted her, telling her that she was in crisis. Her boyfriend had made her a drug addict and her boyfriend had left her. She needed help. It made me feel bad for her when I learned that. As much as Lara was concerned about her and wanted to help her, I told her that we would go to Las Vegas and get her back together with us. For the sake of Lara, it did not take us long to fly to Las Vegas, and then I saw her. Her health was in a very bad shape and she looked like she was made of mud. I still remember that scene when I saw her. It is fair to say that she looked like a piece of trash, to be honest. She shared a house with her friend with whom she lived. He was also an illegal immigrant who was living in the country illegally. They were living in an abandoned car garage as a result of being homeless. Bringing her along with us was something we had to do. We took her to a rehabilitation hospital because she was a drug addict and also she needed treatment for her addiction as well. After she spent 3 months in the rehab center, Lara always visited her during this time. After she was discharged from the hospital, a problem came up as Lara and Natasha lived in an apartment and Lara was housed with me. Unfortunately, Lara does not want Natasha to be alone since she was living with me, so she asked me if she could move in with us so that she could take care of her. I didn't want to see her face, but I told Lara that she could live with us until she found a new job and had a stable lifestyle. She moved in with us and started living with us. In spite of that, I was not feeling well because of her. The same thing was told to Lara as well. However, she said that it would only take a few days for her to move to another place as soon as she got a job. At that time, I was going through the motions and I was not comfortable being around Lara in Natasha's presence. This is for the simple reason that I hate her so much. The fact that I and Lara were well known to Natasha was not a secret. In a way, I was afraid that my relationship with her might be ruined by her. I was happy with the fact that for the first couple of days, she stayed in the room. However, after a few days, she started creating problems for us. As an example, whenever me and Lara were talking or sitting alone and doing romance, she would interrupt us by saying anything or coming by us whenever we were talking or doing romance. Once we had walked into our rooms, we were so horny that day and I forgot to lock the door in our bedroom. So we both were on the bed when she suddenly walked into our room. It was a very humiliating experience for me that day. In my own property, I felt like I was not safe. Whenever I was doing something, she would always keep an eye on me, especially when I loved Lara, and she looked at us as if she was jealous and wanted to take Lara's place. In spite of ignoring this, I had later told Lara about my problems with Natasha as well as my disagreements with her. As well as being sad about her, she was anxious about our privacy, which she always tried to intrude upon. After that, Lara talked to her and encouraged her to find a job and move into her own apartment. There was an argument between her and Lara, and she got angry. Lara cried and told me that what happened, as I told her if she was unable to find a job for herself, I would see if I could find one for her. My next step was to start looking for a job for her. There were many jobs that I told her about, but I do not know what she was waiting for. Even though I submitted her documents, she did not go to the interview. In the beginning, I ignored to talk to her when she came to our home to live with us. However, after a while, I finally decided to talk to her. It is confusing for me why she is not doing a job, even though I have a wide range of jobs for her to choose from. She asked me why I was dating Lara instead of anybody else. Instead of answering the question, I was asking her. I said, "Could you please tell me why you're asking me this question? Please answer my question." After that, she began to cry and asked me if I could forgive her for what had happened. Due to my inability to forgive her, it was impossible for me to forgive her for what she had done to me. As soon as I woke up, I got up and walked out of the house. There was no reason for me to tell Lara about Natasha's attitude, since she was already disturbed because of Natasha. The only thing I wanted for Natasha was to leave my house. Lara also wanted this, but we were both helpless. During one of the days, Lara was at work, so I got back home early before she was. I took off my shirt as I was changing my clothes. Suddenly, Natasha came into my room and hugged me from the back and started saying that I know you're mine. I know you're just dating Lara to make me jealous. I'm horny and I want to make love with you. My anger got the better of me and I started shouting at her, "Keep your distance from me. I do not love you. I only love Lara. She is my true love. How dare you touch me like that? It's very difficult for me to tolerate you as well. I was just tolerating you because of Lara, who started hugging me and pushing me to the bed. And when she started taking off her clothes, I hit her in an angry rage while Lara came. I told her everything and Natasha began her drama by saying that I started harassing her, getting her to the bed and removing her clothing. I was shocked when she started drama and I thought what kind of girl she was. In spite of this, I told Lara everything I knew was the truth. Moreover, I'm sure that she will believe me as I know she will. The decision on what to do with Natasha was left to Lara. It was clear to her that everything was in front of her. Before Natasha, everything was going well and we were living a happy and a peaceful life. However, now she has ruined everything. There was even a threat to our relationship. There was a lot of anger in Lara's eyes when she walked into Natasha's room to pack her suitcase and get her out of the house. She was very angry with her. There was a lot of whining and begging on Natasha's part, but she did not listen to what she was saying. Sadly, I have no idea what happened to her after that day, but I have an idea that she might be in a bad situation because she did not have a house to live in and she was unemployed.